JB here. Hope everyone's doing outstanding. July 9th, 2024. We have about 45 minutes left to the close. Talk really quick about the markets. Some names I'm looking at, some names I've traded, and go from there. But take a look at the S&P. Uh, let's see if I can get this audio off, because there we go. Uh, if the S&P closed right at this exact moment, we'd have 6 straight sessions of all-time high closes on the SPY. Who who knows? It's almost like I almost want the market not to close at highs today, just so we can just erase that and then move on. But strong. Look, upper Bollinger Band on the SPY is 556.93. We're at 555.73. We got all the way up to 557.18. And if you look, yesterday we traded in I think it was a 0.3% trading range. Today it's a 0.28% trading range, like an extremely tight trading range. So if you pull up the spot, you can barely even see the candle because of the, let's see if I can put it up here. Yeah, just an extremely tight trading range, which is good, right? So if we're at highs and bears can't, you know, can't pressure markets, there's no selling, and the buyers are still there. That I think that bodes well, right? So we'll have to see how this all plays out. Um, then of course you flip it around, and small caps are, IWM's down 0.5% today, back under that 50-day moving average. So, I take it, it's like I take it with a grain of salt, or like a kind of a silver lining, because if there's any opportunity into the summer and at the start of the fall for markets to rally, I think it's because the small caps can help get us there. So those are small caps. Not going to talk too much about that. Let me get into the first trade, right? Baidu, just crazy. I did that video, I think it was July 3rd, where I talked about Baidu. I thought there was going to be some gap fills. I think it trades up near 115 in the coming weeks. Struggled a little bit to start the week, but then just take a look today, up nearly 10%. No news, no catalyst. China markets were in the green overnight, so I don't know if that's some of it. Alibaba, which you would think there's a basket of China ADR stocks that would rally in conjunction with each other. Baba's up 3%, but then Baidu's up 8%. So uh, I still think if you listen to my rant, I think there's a lot of tailwinds for Baidu. Um, you know there's a lot of levers they're pulling, and I think they're starting to bear fruit. I don't think any of that is baked into the stock yet. 75% of their core business is still advertising. So once they start to scale out, use their leverage, they have $24 billion in cash. That they have a lot of different things levers they can pull to get outside the core business and grow. China has already approved them for their Ernie bot and AI. So I think there's a lot of different reasons that Baidu's gonna. It's almost like they hit the reset button on the search side, and now they're gonna take advantage of the AI side. So we'll see what happens here. 50 days, 98.92. I said it in my little rant last week. 105, then gap fill, and then I think over 115. I think that comes pretty easily. Locked a lot of my calls in for some nice profits. I'll continue to hold those. And I was looking at some more strikes, but I'll just hold what I have now. Maybe if it breaks over 100, I'll look for some FOMO calls, 120, 125. Because if you look at the valuation, it was 1.5 times revenues. If you trade it's 2 times revenues. It's $140, $150 stock. So I'm not going to get crazy, not going to get ahead of myself, but I don't want to be in a situation where it does really rally, and I can't take full advantage of that move. So continue to look for opportunities to play Baidu for upside. A wing stop, not going to talk about wing too much. Kind of a hedge play. Here it is at lows right now as I'm talking about it. Hit 395.27. 50-day moving average on that one's 396, 396.20. Uh, I I thought it was a great hedge trade because I think it's going to sell off even if the market rallies, right? So, I said this a couple times already on my rants that the casual dining sector as a whole has been taken on the chin, and Wing has been one of those names that have kind of held their ground. And I think now folks are finally starting to, I wouldn't say the circle the wagon or what have you on Wing, but I think there's an opportunity here at least to move to 380 or so. So call the puts were They were up a couple 100%. Are they? Are let's see here, 360 by four, almost 100%. I'm gonna wait. Once those get over 100%, I'll look to lock some in to cover costs and ride the rest because I think not only do they offer a great hedge opportunity, but I think there's more downside coming. So take a look at Wing here. Here's a great. I'll post in the chat room. I think that offers a great risk reward there for at least a hedge. AMD was rallying at 180 right out of the gate this morning. Then it started to fade. I put in a watch list. I was going to use a 177 handle as a stop. Once it hit that, I closed the rest of my calls out for some profits. I didn't want to be in a situation where I lost profits on AMD. Um, do I think it's going to continue to outperform? Possibly, but I have a lot of positions on right now, so I don't want to have to be micromanaging and watching that one. So at some point, maybe I'll revisit, but definitely finally able to make some money on AMD, and a name I'll follow through on at some point. Roku all the way up to $63 just about 20 minutes ago. Um, I still think 65, then some FOMO into the 70s. Not going to chase it here to add more strikes, but definitely kind of like an under the radar play because I think at some point, it starts to rally and then people are going to just pile in. And I'm not saying similar to Baidu, but when there's not a lot of premium baked into the calls, it it's nice to enter now, and then once the premium starts to come in on some kind of move to the upside, then not only do you make, it's like a double whammy. You make money not only on the folks piling into the calls, but then the stock rallying. So that's Roku. Celsius, I don't have the chart here on Celsius, but sitting here at $56. I'm not saying it's identical to Baidu in regards to its to a pincher status, but at some point that's going to take off. So it's sitting here all the way down to yeah, 52.15 this morning. Now back up here at $56, almost flat. Could be one of those boomerang names. Could be $60 in a flash. So I'll continue to look for opportunities to play Celsius. I'm trying to think of some of the other names. Chewy. I talked about this morning. It's funny. You look at the filing, and nobody talks about the filing from Roaring Kitty, where it says, check the box if you're a cat, or check the box if you're not a cat. Right? Like nobody talks about that. To me, that it's almost like it's like a slap in the face if you're the SEC, because here's an official document, and Roaring Kitty is pretty much it's like mocking the SEC. But needless to say, um, it showed that the date of the filing, or at least the material date, was June 24th, meaning he added his stake in Chewy on June 24th, and then the filing for the 6.6% stake came out on July 1st. So if you look at the trading range on Chewy back on June 24th, it traded between 24 and 25. So that was the day, I think it was the Monday, where the premium spiked. So do I think he sold out? I don't think he sold out. I think at some point he's going to come out with some live stream. He's going to make his bull case. I've said this many, 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 many times. I think there's a case for Chewy to trade 35 to 40 without the Roaring Kitty stake, right? Because the fundamentals, the return to growth, back-to-back quarters of strong earnings, and then you have the $500 million stock buyback. They also bought back $500 million of shares from a stakeholder, retired those shares. I just think there's a backdrop for it to really start to rally. But the unfortunate thing is, as the stock is kind of flustered here, premiums are kind of coming out of the call. So I'll probably wait a day or two, and then I'll add more strikes. I think that's it. Baidu, VKTX is looking good today. I don't want to talk too much about that. GPCR finally starting to show some signs. Not going to talk about that one either. I think that's it, folks. Well, let's have a great afternoon. I'll be back on later. CPI Thursday, and then a PPI Friday. The kickoff of the Q2 earnings season on Friday as well. So should be exciting. Rock and roll. Let's have a great day. I'll be back.